All right. What's happening, people? Good morning. What is it? Only Tuesday? That's all right. At least it's not Monday. What's happening? Hope that things are going aight. Just kind of waking up here, as you'd expect, at this hour. It is unnatural to be awake right now. Tell you what. Sorry you got to be up right now. People should be able to sleep in. All right. Let's look at historical facts that sound totally fake but are true. All right, that's a plenty decent start to the day. Some of these are kind of weird. I glanced through a few and like, sure, we can talk about this. Did you know in 16th century France, you could face death for excessive laughing? Yeah. Well, I guess if you were laughing in church, which people don't tend to enjoy, even though, I don't know, I think some jokes in church would be good. A little bit of laughter, that goes a long way. Should be a joyful place. You know, maybe if you're a pastor, work on that stand-up material a little bit. Got to keep the jokes appropriate, though. Yeah, people get bent out of shape pretty easily when it comes to joking sometimes, so you got to be careful with them jokes. Yeah. People used to get, put to death for laughing. See, we're living in, pretty decent times. For the most part, you can laugh. All right, let's see. There was a man in China. He became a sheriff of sorts of a small town. He was tasked with transporting prisoners, but some got away. The punishment for losing prisoners was death, and being late due to recapturing said prisoners was also death. So he decided to free all the prisoners and go into the wilderness. Some of the freedmen were so grateful, they decided to follow him. So he became an outlaw and several years later led an armed rebellion and became the first emperor of the Han Dynasty. Never know what not doing your job will do for you. Might just take on over. All right, this one I need to Google because it doesn't sound true. Under Lake Michigan is a Stonehenge-like rock formation and paintings from people that lived there 9,000 years ago. All right, now I could understand the paintings, but what about this Stonehenge-like rock formation? I gotta check this out and see some pictures. I have never heard of this. All right, prehistoric structure under Lake Michigan resembles Stonehenge. Well, where are them pics? I don't see nothing. All right, okay, there's some rocks, but I wouldn't call that Stonehenge-like. It's not even in a circle. There's just some rocks. All right, maybe I need to read further into this. But, okay, Discover Magazine did say, back to the media-hyped Stonehenge. Let's see. Sensationalized headlines are misleading. There's no henge to the structure. Take that. That's a lousy post. 0 out of 10 on that post there. All right, let's see what else we got. Okay, this one's kind of weird. During the Middle Ages, the Pope had one of his deceased predecessors dug up, brought into a courtroom, propped up in a chair, and put on trial. All right, let me Google that. That is very bizarre behavior. It says they changed the rules, so you can't do that anymore. Oh, yeah. In 897, the Catholic Church put a Pope's corpse on trial. Sir, answer me! Answer me! Oh, geez, it got kind of gruesome there. I guess after they put it on trial, they chopped off its fingers and chucked it into the Tiber River. Oh, that'll teach them. That'll teach them. What in the heck? Yeah, see, people weren't, just crazy in our day and age. Yeah, people have been nuts forever. Carrots were not originally orange. This one I could believe. Dutch farmers used selective breeding in the 17th century to make them orange from purple or yellow, all done in honor of the House of Orange. Well, at least it wasn't the House of Peach. Tell you what. Roald Dahl? What did he write? Like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and things like that? Apparently, he was a spy in World War II, and he got a lot of information by hooking up with the wives of enemy officers, and apparently did it so much he got burnt out on it. And when he told his superiors, their response was, "Close your eyes and think of England." Man, that would suck to have your job ruin that kind of thing, huh? Yeah, ruin a good time. Oh, I hate this. I don't want to deal with it anymore. Oh my gosh. All right. And back in the day, apparently they partied just as hard as people do now. Admiral Edward Russell wanted to throw a party for 6,000 of his close friends, so he drained the garden fountain and filled it with a few thousand gallons of homemade punch. And yeah, it was that kind of punch. Hired bartenders to paddle around on canoes and scoop cups for partygoers. And I guess the punch was so strong, the bartenders were passing out from the fumes. Bands rotated in and out, so the music never stopped. Cooks constantly serving a buffet, and they kept going until they drank the entire fountain 8 days later. 6,000 of his close friends. Maybe you should, be careful with how you work. Who has 6,000 close friends? I think close friends, if you have more than like 5, that's a weird number. You know? My close friends are whittled down pretty small nowadays. Well, it happens. Okay, well, you know what? Now they're starting to get kind of even more gruesome, so maybe we'll come back to this, maybe we won't, I don't know, but I'll return. Falling in reverse right there, and if you were curious who Ronnie Radke's fighting with today, that would be Youngblood. Yeah, apparently doesn't like his fake rock star attitude or something like that. All right, there you go. Your falling in reverse news of the day. Always drama. I just wish it was funnier. You know, like back in the day, it seemed like Ronnie Radke was funnier with his drama. Now he just seems grouchy. Yeah? It's like, dude, make some jokes, bro. Come on. Make me chuckle. You're making millions. How cranky could you be? Shut up. All right, sorry. I've met the guy multiple times, and he's always very nice. I just don't understand his, you want to talk about fake personas. He told me that the way he behaves online is a persona, And again, I've met him multiple times. He's always very nice. He's just cranky online, and it's gotten to the point that it just annoys me at this point. Like, dude, come on. Spread some positivity, bro. I don't know if you've looked at social media, but little bit of negativity floating around out there. So I tried to share some positivity yesterday on the K-Bear group page, and I shared a post. All right, cats versus dogs. It was a very popular question on traffic school a number of years ago. The old GM actually yelled at me because for an hour straight, Lieutenant Crane and I took calls. All right, what do you like better, cats or dogs? And that was the entire traffic school show, and we went long. We did a full hour. The GM was furious. And I was like, well, did you listen to the whole show? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, so did everybody else. You might not think it's good content, but people kept listening to it. All right? It was good content. So the post I made is, let's see if there are more cat or dog people. Game on. And you either go do the laughing face for cats or the heart reaction for dogs. And I was kind of surprised. So far, the voting is like super even. We got 119 votes for dogs, 113 votes for cats. I thought it would be a little bit more. I thought it was going to be dog people for sure, like by a large margin, but pretty even on the old voting there. And there's a lot of people commenting, but I like both. I like both. It's like, you can still like both. Just put a reaction down. It's just a dumb social media post. It's not like this is set in stone and descendants are going to be like, did you see when they picked dogs over cats? I can't believe it. So yeah, just go ahead and pick one. All right. I like dogs and cats. I tend to lean a little bit more in the cat direction, as you probably know if you've listened to me for a long time. I'm just a weird cat dude, okay? But I still like both. But it's just a dumb post. You can go ahead and just vote for one or the other, okay? So go vote in it. And if you haven't joined the K-Bear 101 Idaho Rock and Metal group on Facebook, you should. Actually, I need to dive into that group and go through the pending posts because Peaches is lazy and he won't go through the videos that people post. He only looks at the pictures and posts those, or text posts. So we probably have tons of piled up posts. I started going through them yesterday, but I was extremely busy around here and didn't finish. So I'll do that while you vote cats or dogs. All right? And 7 o'clock. All right? We're not going to stay down. We're going to crush it. We're going to get through Tuesday. And it's going to be a nice evening, everybody. It's going to be a nice evening. Okay, look at this thread calling out to me. People over 35. Oh, thanks for the reminder, Internet. All right, people over 35. What's something you genuinely miss that younger generations will probably never experience? All right, a lot of people like to look back on the past and go, oh, it was so good back then. Well, let's find out. Let's find out how many of these things I personally miss. And we'll start with a world where everything wasn't filmed and put online for consumption and prosperity. Okay, I do miss the days prior to, the internet working in the way it does now. And yes, everything being filmed. And I've talked about, back before cell phones, how you could just leave your house and not be bothered by anybody. I do appreciate being able to make a call when an emergency arises or something's going on, being easy to reach, but at the same time, you can't really go completely off grid anymore unless you go way into the wilderness. And depending on your setup, going way into the wilderness could suck. You might be in a tent. Yeah, I'm sorry, but tents, no. If I ain't dragging a fake home behind me with my truck, time to rent a cabin, all right? Anyway, yeah, it is unfortunate that everything is filmed and put online. I mean, look at the collective traumatization of basically everybody last week. I could not believe that social media allowed a brutal murder to just fill up everybody's Facebook feeds and Instagram feeds and Twitter feeds. I'm grateful that I avoided having to see that, but my kids, they fire up their TikTok, first thing they see, bam. Like, it's crazy to me that with how strict those social media algorithms are, they couldn't immediately shut that down. I think they could have. Do you ever see nudity just pop up? No. They got AI running this stuff. They could have dealt with it. It's just disgusting. Disgusting. Okay, let's get a little more positive here. Back to things that people over 35 genuinely miss. Okay, life before social media, same deal. We already talked about that. Saturday morning cartoons. All right. When did that stop happening? I remember Saturday morning cartoons, but that was when, if you didn't have cable, you had like 3-4 channels. And yeah, they'd have cartoons on Saturday morning, and it was always great because it's like, oh, I'm not at school and I'll watch cartoons. You could still do Saturday morning cartoons. It just isn't like a thing. It's better now, all right? It did seem kind of like a magical children's only time slot when you were little. All right, maybe it was good. I don't know. But now you can just select whatever cartoon you want to watch at any time. I'll still say that modern streaming is way better than what we dealt with growing up. When's the last time you tried to watch cable TV or satellite TV? It sucks, all right? Scrolling through the preview channel, each channel, you have one option. If it's already started, you've missed it. You got to put up, you think commercials on radio are bad? We only play commercials every half hour here on K-Bear for a couple minutes. TV, for every 30 minutes, you're getting 8 minutes of commercials, and they do them like every 5 minutes. It sucks watching cable TV. Modern television options, a million times better. Here's somebody mentioned being inaccessible. I already talked about that. I guess I could have predicted this entire thread as someone over 35 with my first, just rambling rant. All right, and again, people on Reddit that don't know how to read other people's posts. Here we got a world without social media and always being online. Boring politicians. I do kind of miss that, Politicians should not be celebrities, all right? Politicians should not be something that people get real worked up and become fans of, all right? Don't even get me started. You know how I get when I start talking about politicians. Ugh. All right, let's see. Just going to the pub, talking for hours, no phones or outside distraction. Well, you could do that. Just put the phone down. Yeah? Yeah. Go hang out with people and put the phone down. You'll be fine. Video rental stores. All right, yeah, that's a nostalgic thing, but no, it's better now. Because back in the day, you might go to the video rental store and the movie you want to see, out of stock, not available. Then you end up renting some crap you didn't really want to watch. And sorry, but the quality, the VHS wasn't that good. All right? Yeah, sorry. Receiving a handwritten letter. That can still happen. You can do that. I mean, probably been a while since I got one, but still something you could do. Everyone just talking about the life before internet here. Watching TV shows and movies and playing computer games with no spoilers, etc. Okay, don't go to pages about the shows or games you are watching and or playing, and you can avoid spoilers, okay? All right? I've managed to avoid spoilers for all kinds of shows. Just if I see a post for a show I'm watching and they're talking about it in any way, I just scroll real fast. Just scroll real fast. Oh, geez, this person made a huge list. What? Who's got this kind of time? Being able to go to a concert and watch the concert without thousands of phones in the way? I don't really care about that much. I do think that shows are better when you're not allowed to use your phone, because it's not other people's phones that distract me, it's my own. So if I'm at a Tool show or something and phone's not allowed, you enjoy the show much better because you're just not going to pull that addictive thing out of your pocket and start filming or scrolling. All right. Okay, the dollar menu. I think we can all agree we miss that. Everybody misses the dollar menu. All right. I'm going to keep digging here for crap to talk about. And if you want to get a hold of me, you know what to do. You call me up, 208-535-1015. I'm sitting here doing it live. All right, let's see what we can find. All right, if you didn't hear, we are giving away some really expensive concert tickets that we managed to get our hands on. Tickets to Aftershock. Now, this show would be a blast. 4 days of rock and metal. The biggest rock and metal fest in the West, going down October 2nd through the 5th. Now, it's in Sacramento, so if you win the tickets, you got to get yourself there, all right? But we'll hook up the tickets. They're almost $600 a piece, because you're getting 4 days of amazing music. What bands? I mean, the list is so huge. Who knows? Is Make Them Suffer on the bill? Probably, because it seems like everybody is. I don't know. There's so many bands on the bill. I don't know for sure. But I can tell you that Blink-182, Deftones, Korn, Bring Me the Horizon, Marilyn Manson, Gojira, Turnstile, All Time Low, Knocked Loose, Chevelle, Motionless in White, Black Veil Bride, Slaughter to Prevail, Alkaline Trio, Good Charlotte, A Perfect Circle, Bad Omens, Rob Zombie, Mudvayne, 3 Days Grace, Lamb of God, All American Rejects, Hollywood Undead, Trivium, In This Moment. I mean, this just goes on and on and on. Dream Theater, Powerwolf, Flyleaf, Pop Evil, Dragon Force, Acid Bath, Hatebreed. You want to go to the show? We're making it kind of tricky because these are very expensive tickets, and we want somebody who's, really wanting to go to the show to win them. What we're going to do is we're going to have a couple opportunities this week for you to play our halfway game. What did Peaches call it? I got to bring up the notes. Our half and half game. We've mashed together 5 seconds of one band song with 5 seconds of another band song. And if you can name both songs, then you score a pair of 4-day GA passes. Get you into the entire show. Like I said, each ticket valued at almost $600. All you got to do is get yourself there, okay? But we'll hook up the tickets. So please only play the game if you're actually going to go to the show. We want these tickets in somebody's hands who are going to get out and actually enjoy it. And we worked really hard to get them. But yeah, all you got to do is get yourself there. So a couple times this week, and we'll probably set the time so that you know when we're going to be doing this. All right? But if you don't win, I mean, I would love to go to this show. October 2nd. What day of the week's that? That is a Thursday. All right, that's a little rough for me. Oh, and of course, that's the day that Acid Bath is playing. Well, you know, you got a few weeks to figure this out, get yourself some time off. You should just go. I've always wanted to go to Aftershock. So many of my radio friends go to it. It's supposed to be just an incredible time, and we'd love to send you for free. So I'll get with Peaches today. We'll decide on a specific time. Maybe we'll play the game at noon, first time, and see if we can get ourselves a winner for a pair of tickets to the biggest rock and metal festival in the West all year, Aftershock. All right? Good luck to you. You know how everything's all weird nowadays? You know, things have gotten strange in the last decade. Well, I was just reading a theory about perhaps why everything is just so bizarre as of late. You know, world's become a circus, and it's all thanks to one weasel, like an actual weasel. Back in 2016, a weasel sabotaged the Large Hadron Collider. It's a 17-mile-long superconducting machine designed to smash protons together at close to the speed of light. And apparently a weasel got into it and shut the thing down in the middle of the night, gnawed through a power cable, and messed the thing up. Now, a lot of people at one point were worried about this thing, you know, like creating a black hole and destroying the world. What if it just shifted us into another dimension? Yeah, moved us into this weird timeline. You know? Because, think about it. It's about since 2016 that things got completely unhinged on this planet. Things, when I think back, seemed way more just kind of normal and boring prior to that. Everything's really weird now. You know, we got AI, like, moving at the speed of light itself. Just chaos. Stupid weasel. Who do you think killed Harambe? You remember that? That was a big deal. It's this weasel's fault. Everything has gone wrong. In the last, you know, decade or so, everything that's gone wrong, it can be blamed on the weasel. It's what it's got to be. Yeah, think back. Last 10 years. Oh, craziness. There are a lot of articles about this. I was looking at one at connectparanormal.net, unraveling the weasel timeline at the Hadron Collider. Inspired this theory that it altered reality's fabric. Resulting in a new timeline marked by increased global chaos. Now, most people dismiss this, but, you know, everything's so weird. You know, maybe the incident that actually caused it was something completely different, but in the timeline we're in now, it was a weasel that did it, you know? All right, anyway. These are just the things that I look at, all right? As I'm looking for content to talk about. And again, there's a long article you could read. It's got a lot of jargon that I don't care to attempt to try to say right now because I'm kind of tired and I don't want to try to say big words, but you just never know. It's some kind of explanation for why everything's so nuts. Anyway, speaking of nuts, I'll try to find some freak news here in just a second. because I have to do that feature. Well, I guess I don't have to, but I'm gonna. All right? Freak news coming up in just a minute. Oh, and these stupid buttons ain't working? You gotta be kidding me. The buttons worked prior to 2016, you stupid weasel. All right. I don't want to see people getting hurt, okay? But I am a fan of the animals fighting back. They've had it with people. I got a number of stories about animals attacking people today. Another orca boat attack, which I don't know why. Maybe it's because that movie Blackfish was so disturbing to me and made me so angry at people that I'm like, good on the orcas. Fight back. Sink some boats. All right? Take them down. Yeah, a pod of orcas sunk a tourist yacht off of Portugal. And then the rescue boat that came to rescue the people, they also attacked that. Now, what's crazy is orcas don't attack people. You never see any stories that orcas, eat people, blah, blah, blah. No, they just hate boats and they sink them. It's pretty impressive. So everybody was okay. The boat was not. And, we had one of these, was it just earlier in the week? Yeah, they're just out. Fed up. And, well, watch that movie Blackfish. I'm not saying he necessarily should. It's an upsetting documentary. I'm glad I watched it, but at the same time, it just made me disgusted with people. So, sink some boats, orcas. I got your back. Now this one's, I feel bad for the guy who died after getting attacked by a bear. That's a gruesome way to go. But it's kind of weird because it was a black bear, and it wasn't even an adult black bear. It was like a 70-pound black bear. This guy was out mowing his lawn. He's on a riding lawnmower in Arkansas, and this bear just, what? You want to destroy the environment? You want to cut down these plants? Just attacked him. The guy's kids show up. They're like throwing rocks at him. Bear didn't give a crap, Man, that's my nightmare, getting killed by a bear. One, it's got to be horrible. Very unpleasant way to go. But two, K-Bear DJ, mauled to death by bear. Oh, all my radio friends, I knew that guy. This is freak news, dudes. They're doing their dumb news segment. Some of them might even laugh. I'd hope not. Well, actually, go for it. Go for it, all right? If I get attacked by a bear, you can laugh, okay? But hopefully I'd live and have some cool metal scars. All right, what else do we have here? Oh, quit throwing your crap in the geysers at Yellowstone. What is wrong with people? Again, people are kind of stupid and terrible, so how do the geysers fight back? Well, I guess they do every once in a while. Somebody goes off the path. When it comes to people versus geyser or hot springs, the hot springs always win. Anyway, Yellowstone has collected more than 300 hats from the park's hot spring areas so far this year. People just take their hats and just chuck them in there, along with all kinds of other garbage. 13,000, more than 13,000 pieces of garbage have been pulled out of the hydrothermal areas in Yellowstone this year, including the Grand Prismatic Spring, the famous one that's really colorful, that you always see pictures of. Keep your stupid hat on your head, all right? It's not like the thermal areas at Yellowstone are like being on the rim of the Grand Canyon where it's generally very breezy and your hat could blow off your head. No, people are just chucking their stuff in there. Maybe that's why the bison are fed up and keep attacking people. Stop with the littering. And I know I don't want to see anybody get hurt again. But there is a certain satisfaction every time you see that someone's gotten, chucked through the air by a bison. All All right, let's get into the next hour. That was freak news. I got plenty more where that came from. And, just try to be a good human being, okay? Or the animals are coming for you. They're fed up. What up, people? Little after 8 o'clock, it's the Viktor Wilt Show. All right, where's this at? New York? Queens? Well, apparently people in that area not too happy with their choices for candidates in the upcoming elections, so somebody's been going around town putting stickers and flyers all over the place, urging people to consider write-in candidate Leo Namuche, better known as Leo the Cat. This is a 9-year-old cat looking to replace the current person sitting on one of the city council seats. Yeah, I'd probably vote for the cat too. You know? You know how I feel when it comes to most politicians. Yeah. Get rid of them. Dump them. Yeah, a cat could probably do just as good of a job, if not better. They're not prone to being, influenced by lobbyists or, some kind of weaselly under the table deals. Vote cat. Yeah. No, I mentioned recently, take a look at eastidahonews.com. East Idaho Elects. You can search for that on their website. Get to know all of the various candidates running for offices in November around here. Please, for the love of all that is good, educate yourself on the candidates. And please vote in the local elections. Our local election turnout is so pathetic. Everyone gets out and votes for the presidential election. That's important too, but the presidential election is determined by 7 states, okay? Idaho, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to discount the election or anything, but Idaho's very meaningless when it comes to the presidential election, and we get record turnout when it comes to that election. But our local elections, where we can actually have some impact, too many of you just sitting at home farting around. It's not hard to get out and vote. You can even do it in advance. You can have them send you an early ballot and just send it in. Get out and vote in the local elections. They're so much more important. Or at least your vote matters so much more when it comes to our local elections. So you got 2 months to prepare. Just get ready. And please just educate yourself on the candidates. Nobody knows who you vote for when you go in that little box, okay? I've seen endless complaining about Idaho politicians for the last 9 months. People are like, what's going on? Everything's unhinged and crazy. Well, you can change it. Just get in that booth. It's a private place. You vote for whoever you want. Pick the best candidate to your liking and vote with your brain. Not just, I like that letter next to their name. That's how we end up in these situations, okay? Nobody's going to know who you vote for. You can vote for whoever you want. It's your right as an American. But please, vote in the local elections, okay? I'm going to try to not, hammer this home too much, but when I see the type of comments on every article about everything Idaho's been doing for the last 9 months, some of y'all ain't getting out and voting, all right? And it's easy. You can register at the polls. You bring a piece of mail and your ID, and you're good to go, okay? That easy. It takes 2 minutes. And you just mark the ballot, give it to them, and you've done your thing. Wouldn't it be amazing if we could see, record turnout for a local election? Again, this is where your vote really, really counts. So, if you have to, write in a cat, all right? If you don't like any of the candidates, at least vote. Jeez. All right, sorry. Just when I see articles about elections, I get a little bit crazy. But, yeah, vote Leo the cat for all I care. Just vote. Jeez. Man, it's really interesting to see the things that people start screaming at each other about online sometimes in this, weasel-created timeline that we're living in. If you missed that break earlier, catch the on-demand version of this show available everywhere podcasts can be found. Later on today, where I talked about a weasel, disrupting the Large Hadron Collider in 2016 and sending us into this strange timeline we're living in. Well, I was scrolling Facebook and I saw some people talking crap about the Pope. And it was because the Pope criticized Elon Musk's large amount of wealth and, said that the fact that corporate pay packages that award executives vastly higher pay than all of their workers, that this might be a problem, But for some reason, in the last few years, I don't know how, but people have somehow been convinced that billionaires are just awesome. They're so great. And they're like fans, super fans of them. Just extremely wealthy people. Anyway, I'm not going to get into politics here, but, let's just keep cutting, services to the average person. Got to make sure these guys, with all this dough, that they stay okay. Life's rough for them. If you didn't hear, we're doing a number of ticket giveaways this week. Y'all already hooked up a pair of tickets to In This Moment, Dayseeker, The Funeral Portrait, and Dead. That show going down October 10th at the Mountain America Center. So if you want to win tickets to that one, we're doing the back-to-back tracks game. You hear 2 songs in a row from any of those one bands on the bill. Yeah, 2 songs from a specific band, not a combination of bands. Be caller number 20 when the second song starts. We'll hook you up with free tickets to the show. And we're also hooking up tickets to the biggest show, the biggest rock and metal fest in the West of the year, Aftershock. I don't know, there's like 100 bands or something. I don't know how many. But tons and tons of great bands. Korn and Blink-182 and Bring Me the Horizon and Gojira. And this list just goes on and on. Your favorite band is probably playing. The only catch, you got to get yourself there. You got to get yourself to Sacramento. But these tickets are like $600 a piece. So that's saving you a lot of money. We're playing the half and half game. And we're going to do it for the first time at noon today. So if you were able to get yourself to Sacramento October 2nd through the 5th for 4 days of the best rock and metal, you're going to want to play the game. We'll mash up 2 songs, play a 5-second clip of each, and if you can identify the 2 songs, you win a pair of tickets to Aftershock. Then you just got to get yourself to the show. So please only play if you're actually going to go, all right? Took a lot to get these tickets. They're very expensive. Like I said, almost $600 a piece. We want to get them into the hands of somebody who really wants them and will go to the show. So tune in at noon today, right at the top of the noon hour, for your first chance to play and to hopefully win. Would love to hook somebody up sweet and can't wait to hear about the show. I would love to go. But look at my schedule. So I guess we'll send you. All right? Tune in at noon for your chance to win. Hey, I wanted to say thank you to my lovely lady for bringing me and Peaches some breakfast. That was so kind. So nice. How's your breakfast, Peaches?
It was really good.
Yes.
As per usual.
Delish. Hitting the spot. I didn't realize how much I was needing it. So that's a nice thing you can do for your partner. Surprise them and bring them some breakfast. Little things, Peaches, you can do. I was looking at, the Ask Reddit page, and someone asked about long-term relationships. What's something no one tells you about staying together for years? You gotta put in some extra effort sometimes. You want to make things last. You can't just be a loser.
I love how your show goes from politics to just like love analysis.
That's right. It's an all-encompassing show. I've had bears killing people on lawnmowers. I had a little bit of the Pope criticizing billionaires. And now we're doing relationship advice.
All right.
It's a show for everyone. That's how this program rolls. Let's see here. Stay curious about your partner. Peaches hates this. Lots of questions. Do you at least ask her lots of questions about her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't need to. She just tells me.
All right. Well, but you got to stay curious is what this says. You need to ask the question, show her you're interested, you know? Because then they're like, oh, he's interested. Yeah. That seems like pretty good advice. Let's see here. You both need space. Whether it's a room, upstairs, downstairs, hobbies, blah, blah, blah. Nothing against the partner, but everyone needs some space. This guy says that their one main category for buying a house was we needed, some separation. Just, you can go chill in your own place for a bit. Because if you're with somebody 24/7, it's going to, eventually drive you crazy. Need at least a few minutes to go sit down and, I don't know, play on your new computer. Right, Peaches?
I'm going to tonight.
All right. So I think that's pretty good advice. When you're dealing with online advice, you just never know. Always remember that it's you two against the problem, not you two against each other. This eventually solves every other problem if effort is made. Yeah, I mean, you've been in relationships, so I'm sure you've been in fights. When you're in a fight, do you feel like you have to win?
Duh.
That's not the way to do it, Peaches. It's not how you deal with relationship disputes. You gotta understand where the other person's coming from, explain your feelings, and it's not a competition.
I'm right.
Don't say I'm right. Don't listen to Peaches, everybody. Bad advice.
One of us has to disagree according to Jade's rules, so.
Yes, you need to work together. Jeez. Well, too many times I see, relationships that fall apart for whatever reason. And then, you look back or, maybe they got to deal with stuff after. And one of the people in the relationship just being a total D-bag about everything. And it's like, settle down and make it easy. It doesn't need to be endless drama. Because usually one person's butthurt, and they're like, well, I'm going to hurt the other person's feelings. Move on. Grow up. Be a man. Or a woman. Or whatever. Whoever is, causing the difficulties for no reason whatsoever, settle down and grow up. What else do we have here? Talk about everything. Don't hide your feelings, Peaches. Do you sit down and go, hey, Aubrey, I'm worried about some things. I'm stressing. I'm freaking out. And then you tell her your problems?
Most of the time she asks me a question, I'm like, rethink that before asking me again.
Peaches, this does not sound like good advice. Yes, and when you do talk, don't get upset over it. Keep being respectful to each other.
Look, keep bringing it up. Bring up anything from the past that she has hinted at or said. You bring it up.
Yeah.
I've told her about the story, but when I was 2 years old, my parents would go, drop it, Brendan. And of course, my signature catchphrase back when I was 2, I'm still holding it.
I'm still holding it. Yeah.
To this day.
What you need to do if you're holding on to some kind of frustrations or grief, go see a therapist. They exist. They can help you.
Any little thing you or Jada said, I still hold it to this day.
I know. And I know I've told you, go talk to somebody about it. Peaches, get out of here. Get out of my face. Oh, I hate it when people say, don't go to bed mad. No, go to bed mad.
Your favorite team loses? Of course you can be frustrated.
Yeah, like if you're in an argument and you're both pissed, go to bed. You'll feel differently after a good night's rest. You ever been stuck in a situation, Peaches, where you got to stay up and talk about a problem till 4 a.m.
That's when
you're still mad.
Hit her with the pillow.
Now,
have a pillow fight.
Now, a pillow fight could turn things around and make it kind of fun, depending on the level of aggression in your pillow fighting, But yeah, if you ever hear anybody say, don't ever go to bed mad, they're full of crap. I can tell you
Wake
from
them
experience.
up with the water bucket.
No. Go to bed mad and then do that. Yeah, go to bed mad. I don't care what anyone says. Get some sleep and deal with it the next day, okay? Because people get stupid when they're tired and they start saying crazy things, Let's see. You need good boundaries with your respective extended families.
Yeah, Boundaries is a great band.
Take your your spouse to boundaries shows.
I want to see Aubrey two-step.
Just get out in that pit, hardcore dance. All right, let's see. Anything your partner does at the beginning of the relationship that irritates you will still irritate you 30 years later. Something good to keep in mind. People don't change that drastically. You know, you kind of know what you got. Let's see. Extra blankets. I think that's on the ladies' side there. I know that at my house, I had so many blankets at one point, I was going crazy.
You could build the mega fort.
Yeah, but the kids were too old for a fort. They just wanted to put blankets
You're never
everywhere.
too old for your fort.
Never too old for a fort?
Never too old.
All right, I'll build a fort after work today. It could be fun. Might be a good time.
Hide behind a whole bunch of blankets, hit Becca with a slingshot, bring up things from the
With
past.
a slingshot. Bring up frustrations.
Like waddled up pieces of paper of things from her past and just shoot it at her.
Oh, this is a good one. Find someone you enjoy doing nothing with. Yeah, like somebody who could just sit there and watch TV or read a book. Just sit. That's important because you can't just go nonstop all the time doing activities. You're eventually going to run out of activities, and then you might go crazy.
I'm glad you talked about this thread because this is so boring to me. This is one of the stupidest things you've ever brought up on the air.
I'm trying to help people here, Peaches. I'm trying to help people with
Most
their
people
love
you're
lives.
talking to are older and married for like 40 years. Who cares?
No, we got plenty of young people listening. Or they're in one of those relationships, and I might, help them realize it's time to get a divorce.
Wow.
Like, I can't believe I didn't realize it, but you're right. 30 years ago, they were still doing those stupid, irritating things. They're never gonna stop.
I can't wait to send
I've
that
still
to the,
got time left. I could be single. Time to go down to the courts and get her done.
I can't wait to put that for the voice guy to say. Helping you get divorced since whenever Victor's show started.
There's nothing wrong with divorce, all right? There's nothing wrong with it at all. If things ain't working out, dump them. That's what I say on the reg. Dump them. Get rid of them. You only got one life, one chance to live on this planet.
Don't suffer with that person.
Don't suffer with that person. That's good advice, Peaches. Sometimes things are never going to change. If you've been in a relationship a long time, you keep, trying and trying, and it's the same old crap all the time. Guess what? In 30 years, it's going to be the same old crap all the time.
Your marriage should not be like your favorite band, Left to Suffer. Okay.
That's right. Do a little bit more alien talk as I head out the door. Might as well. Where's my X-Files music? There we go. So we've talked about this mysterious interstellar object 31/Atlas. And NASA has apparently responded to the growing speculation that this object is actually an alien starship preparing to invade Earth. I guess this thing is only the third confirmed interstellar object ever spotted passing through our solar system. So, unlike asteroids and comets bound to the sun, it entered from deep space and will eventually leave again, and its unusual brightness and rapid rotation rate have fueled conspiracy theories. There was a Harvard astrophysicist who's like, well, it could be a spaceship. Come on. So NASA's like, nah. Of course. They're like, yeah, it's just a comet. It does comet things. That's what they said. It looks like a comet. It does comet things. It very, very strongly resembles in just about every way the comets we know. Probably a comet. Boring. What if it's not a comet? Nah, it's a comet. No, come on. It could be. Nah, it's a comet. I still don't think they'd tell us if it wasn't a comet. I think that people are so crazy. If the government knew aliens were going to invade Earth in a spaceship, they wouldn't tell us. If an asteroid was going to hit Earth, they wouldn't tell us. Because people can't handle anything. They can't handle anything without completely losing it. It'd be just like that movie, Don't Look Up. Anyway, I'm Viktor Wilt. I'm going to get out of here. You have a great rest of your Tuesday. I hope it goes by fast. I am gonna get back to the 10 billion things I need to do. That's a bummer. Anyway, day's gonna go by quick and it's gonna be good. Thank you for listening. Thank you again for tuning in to the Viktor Wilt Show. This program is a production of Riverbend Media Group. To contact the show or for more information, hit us up at riverbendmediagroup.com.